Using Data Table Creator to produce data tables for use with cables and connectors. In RSD, cables and connectors both require multiple levels of data tables. Each line of the top level data table must reference a member map. The member map in turn refers to a sub-data table. As the number of files required increases, errors become easier to make and harder to locate. We will start by switching Data Table Creator to Connector mode. To do this, we select the Type menu and then select Connect. Note that all of the properties required by connectors are now loaded into the Data Table Creator. We'll start by entering a part number, then a model name, then an internal length, select a grouping, and finally enter the number of pins. To complete the process, we click Add Data. We can now see that the top level data table has been correctly generated. To create the other required files, we simply click Save Data Table. Upon saving, Data Table Creator will automatically generate all of the required files. Here we can see all of the files which Data Table Creator has generated: the top level data table, the member map, and the sub-data table. We can see that the contents of the top level data table are as the data table navigator showed us, and that the member map and the sub-data table have both been correctly generated. Creating cable data tables is very similar. We start by selecting Type and then Cable Spool, and you can see that all of the required properties have again been loaded. I shall fill in the spool name, select units of millimeters and the color black, 2 conductors, a minimum bend radius of 8 millimeters, and a cable thickness of 4. We'll start with an unshielded cable. Now I need to set the CSA or wire gauge for the conductors. I'll choose wire gauge and a value of 16. I can now choose the core colors. I can select them from the drop-down list, or if I want to, I can add my own values. Once I'm happy with the values I've got, I click Confirm, and then complete the process by clicking Add Data. Having created a line in this data table to represent the unshielded cable, I'm now going to create another to represent a shielded version. I start by giving it a unique spool name. RSD counts shields in the total number of conductors, so I need to increase that by 1, and then click Include Shield. All of the other values that I've set, including the wire gauge and the core colors, are already there, so all I have to do now is click Add Data to complete the data table. Finally, we save the data table. In saving, we create all of the required files automatically. Here we can see the 5 files which have been generated: the top level data table, 1 member map for each row in the data table, and 1 sub-data table for each member map. We can see that the values in the top level data table are correct, and that it correctly references the 2 member maps. Member maps in turn are correctly referencing their sub-data tables, and the sub-data tables contain the colors that were chosen and the correct wire gauge. In conclusion, not only does Data Table Creator generate single data tables quickly and easily, it automatically generates multiple levels of data tables when required with a minimum of user input.